we have developed some basic understanding of the notion of capacity. We have also found ways by which organizations try to define capacity. Let us now begin to address the first and the foremost question in this capacity analysis, and that is, how do I make an assessment of the capacity in my organization? Everyone asks this question, and a related question is, what kind of data I need to collect in order to estimate the capacity in my workplace, or it could be a department in the organization. So, what kind of data do I need? So, this is another question that we have. So, before we address these questions, let us take an example. In a typical hospital, there are doctors, paramedical staff who are involved in the treatment of the patients. The hospital may also use certain equipments, diagnostic gadgets such as an MRI scan or an X-ray machine. The hospital may also have a certain number of waiting spaces, resources like operating theatres. All these collectively influence the capacity in the hospital in terms of how many number of patients are treated, let us say in an outpatient section or in a surgical block. However, given a certain number of each of these resources, how will it affect the outcome in terms of patients waiting, the residents' time in the hospital? All these are determined by fundamentally the design of the process deployed to deliver the health care. So, process analysis is a method by which we can incorporate all these details and use some logic to analyze these aspects pertaining to capacity in the system. We shall first take a look at the fundamental building blocks of any process. It could be a hospital, it could be a manufacturing firm, it could be a service firm doing a variety of other services. So, let us try to list down the kind of information that we may need to analyze a process. That is where I think we need to start. So, what are these building blocks? The first in our journey in terms of understanding a process is what I may call it as activities. These are the building blocks that make up a process. Every process has a set of activities, and these activities are to be organized in a particular way. So, that brings us to the second aspect, which I call it as technological and logical constraints. Because if you have, let us say, 10 activities, something must dictate the order in which these 10 steps are carried out. This is important because only then we will know the flow of activities, and therefore, that will influence capacity and so on. So, activities, and once you have a set of activities, the technological and the logical constraints. So, let us take one manufacturing example and one service example to understand these two ideas, and then let us go adding additional details to design a process.